Так. Наступний наш доповідач теж буде англійською мовою. Це Tomáš Hála з чешського домену. CZ.NIC. Прошу.
Світлана, люди питали про переказ. Переклад, вибачаюсь, переклад на англійську.
Переклад є на Ютубі. Переклад є на Ютубі. На сторінці в чаті написані два посилання. Одна з них українською, друга англійською. Будь ласка. Так. Прошу, Томас.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Perfect. I will share a few slides. And I would start with some little introduction. So let me introduce myself. My name is Tomáš Hála. I'm an information officer in CZ.NIC, the Czech domain CCTLD operator. And I'm responsible for the infrastructure, operations, and engineering in our company. Before I start, just let me express my huge respect to all Ukrainian people and congratulate you to 30 years anniversary. I'm supposed to talk about our help to Ukrainian hostmaster and Ukrainian CCTLD, and I just humbly hope that our effort will be a very, very little contribution to your victory in this aggressive war against your country. For the full context, it's necessary to mention that I was onboarded to CZ.NIC when the war already was ongoing. So I was just remotely consulting the help for Ukraine with my future colleagues, still during my notice period at the previous employer. And that why I'm talking about this, it just implicates that the main credit for what I will be talking about today goes to my network and DNS team and to my preceder, Zdeněk Bruna, who mostly handled everything I will be talking about. So now I'll try to describe you the story behind our help to hostmaster and show the big picture and some technical details about what we did and how it was gradually built. Okay, so from the very beginning, we were looking for ways how to help Ukraine besides just money donations, which were like obvious choice. And as a CCTLD operator, we know how to run the domain registry and the robust DNS infrastructure. We also know that the CCTLD is a critical part of the critical infrastructure, and it is crucial asset which has to be protected against cyber attacks and also physical attacks in your case. So the conclusion was obviously that this is the part where we can help you to not let you down. The question was how to do it. So if we think about it more, the registry itself is usually a proprietary and quite complex system. It's there is no way to hand over parts of it to third party in a short time, but we can offer quickly at least hosting in a reliable data center with reliable connectivity. So that was one intention, and another one is with the DNS. With the DNS, it's a completely different story because it's a very standard protocol which can be easily run from different locations, different places. And adding one location in Czech Republic made a bit sense. So we decided to build a big DNS stack able to handle up to 100 gigabit of DNS traffic. The same type of the stack which we use, two of them for our Czech TLD. Forgot to skip the slide. what were the main challenges that we faced during that? So do we have some enough spare hardware? Well, certainly we have some spare hardware on stock, but not a lot. With obtaining new hardware, there is an issue with the lead times. You probably know what everybody you face the same, that if you order hardware today, and especially the network equipment, that the delivery time is like starting from half a year to maybe the whole year, and the help was needed quickly. Also, what we dealt with was personal capacity, because our infrastructure and DNS team is not big in Prague, but we really did want to help. So the planned projects were postponed, and this effort got the main priority. What have we built? So at first, we just provided several servers with our connectivity. First servers were available like the next day after the war started, and another 3 servers in 72 hours on Sunday. But it was, let's say, utilized gradually later that, because the Ukrainian team had another priorities in the beginning for sure, because the primary priority was the team safety and the coordination, which is something what Dmitry was talking about today. These servers were used for some registry components and as a first small DNS location, extending the current DNS.NIC. And then we started to work on the big DNS stack, being able to handle the 100 gigabit traffic. This is how it looks like. This is picture of the DNS stack for Czech registry. It's a full rack of more than 30 servers and network equipment. You can see a small shim which describes how it works, and you have independent connectivity to IP transit and to the local peering center, some redundancy out of the network, etc. So this is what we wanted to build, but this is what we had at the very beginning. Like, we had nothing, and we started to from scratch to build the stack literally on the greenfield. So what we were looking for is mostly an empty rack in the data center, which can be related. More than 30 servers, 100 gigabit switches, router, also the autonomous system number and IP range, and for sure the connectivity. And we need it quickly. So we started to contact many partners. The main partner becomes CZ.NIC, which is a Czech peering center. They provided us with the free rack, the IP range, connectivity to the peering center, and all of that free of charge. And they also contributed to the network configuration and communications with network vendors and ISPs. So together, we were able to find IP transit connectivity providers willing to provide the independent connectivity for this project and free of charge. The network equipment was borrowed from 2 vendors. Mostly, when you mentioned that if you just want to borrow the network equipment, it was unable at the time, and there were long waiting queues for that, even to borrow it. But when you mentioned that it's for a project to help Ukrainians to stay online, and everybody was trying to do their best to, let's say, find the reserves and provide us with the hardware that they have for different purposes, like try and buy programs or whatever, and give it to us or borrow it or let it. So these servers were bought by our company, selected from what was available on stock with extremely good price from the vendor. And some partners also offered money to donate this activity. I'm not sure if about all of these partners that they want to be communicated publicly, so I'm not just mentioning them specifically now, but there were a lot of them and with a lot of help. So without that, we won't be able to do it. Okay, here's a short timeline how the building of the stack was done. This is reconstructed from the signal communication by my colleague Lukáš, who was mostly involved in the building of the stack. The design proposal was done the day after the invasion started. Shortly, we obtained the autonomous system number and were promised with the router. Shortly after, also with the switches, and the router was already wrecked. And as you see on the picture, like the progress was quite quick, and by the end of the month, by the end of the May, all installation and configuration was done, and this spec was ready to be used. Now there was a question how to integrate it into the current infrastructure. One choice was to create completely new IP unicast, which is represented on the first picture, meaning that you will add another name server to your CCTLD, and this will be hosted just in Prague on this let's say robust location. But it has an obvious disadvantage that it's just one location, so it's not really any cast, and there is no proper redundancy. The second option was to add this just as a location to the present Anycast, which seems much more suitable, but still has some disadvantages, because when there is an cyber attack which affects the weak locations which are closer to Ukraine, and these are flooded by the DDoS, then yes, the CZ location will be up and running, but services in Ukraine might be still affected. So the original intention was changed after discussion with the Hostmaster team, and the decision was made to configure Proxmox cluster instead of the pure DNS stack, and let the configuration and the control of the services and IPs on the Hostmaster team. I mean that it's important to mention that there is no secret that this project led to proper planning for obvious reason. So there was an improvisation and several reconfigurations, some amount of communication chaos or suboptimal decisions. But I would compare the situation or our our role here to maybe air traffic control who supports the pilots dealing with the crisis. So our role was not to bother with unnecessary questions, discussions, or unwanted advices. We take our role as providing the support as we can and as fast as we can, and let the pilots do their work to deal with the crisis. So what's the current state? Currently, there are 2 independent locations in Prague running. One is mostly serves for the registry services, the second one for the DNS services. They have independent and highly oversized connectivity for more than 100 gigabit traffic. There are some DDoS scrubbing solutions in place, and very high data center standard ensuring 24 hours operations, even in case that there will be blackout in Prague. And both locations utilize Proxmox to provide the Hostmaster team with full control of them. What we did after all of this was built, we were forced to replace the broad router because it was borrowed just for some limited time, and it has to be returned. So the routing was reconfigured to the LTE switches, and in the meantime, we obtained a new router, which is not borrowed, but can stay for how long it's needed. And we also plan to add some capacity to the Proxmox cluster so it can run more services. Replace some older servers which we used in the very beginning and which are unsupported, so replace them for a new one and supported ones, so it can they can work in the long term. And together with the host master team to reconsider how the services are split between data centers. And definitely some better documentation of all of this will be nice. This is just to share with you the picture from CZ.NIC conference in Brno, where we had firstly in summer the opportunity to meet in person with NIC. So here on the picture you can see most of the team members who were involved in this project. And I can mention them from the right. It's Philip, our CEO, Lukáš and Christoph, the main part of the DNS and network team, Adam, the CEO of CZ.NIC, Dimitri, you know him. On his website there's Olena, which is a Ukrainian refugee in Prague who contacted us and she had some little network administration knowledge. We offered her a junior job in the team. That's me, and Zdeněk Bruna, my procedure, and Marian, the technical director of CZ. Okay, so that's it from my side. Thank you very much for your attention, and long live to the Ukrainian domain and brave Ukrainian nation. Thank
you very much. I see Dmitry wanted to ask question. Please.
Yes, let me join. Well, I think we'll have a break after this. So Svetlana told me that she's expecting us to have some rest. We'll keep the Zoom open, right? So, but I ask you this quickly, so because I feel like we all are, listening to 4 people. I just want to thank you for your help, and you were right that you did try to do everything, but I think here is the point I want to make. All these technology things, right, they change, but what I think is important is that our relationship with CZ.NIC is now going to, well, change, but only to the better, right? It's way more important to me, not the technology or the bandwidth we use. Of course, 10 gigabit is very good, and we can probably move to 40 later with the new upgrades that you are doing for us. And we went to at least 3 generations. But I want to ask you, do you understand this, that, I guess that's not a question, statement, that you're actually making CZ.NIC like the company that is pioneered the international domain community help in Europe, right? Because hopefully this is last time of major war in this century, right? But I mean that you did something that not everybody was able to, in quickly reacting to the challenges of the, let's say, friend, and making something for them that is something that you don't even do for yourself with such speed. So, I mean, this is, I guess, not more a question, but a gratitude to you, right? You did enormously great for us, and not that you just did it easily, but it was hard for you as well. But it was something that I did not expect it to be that good, that fast, and that complete, and also continuing after that, because we keep iterating and we keep improving things. We already have the next stage plan of growing our CZ.NIC presence to a bit better hardware and a bit better magic things that we're going to announce later, because I try to not to speak about the future. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. So if it helps, then it's what we intended, and we are really glad we could help.
And by the way, thank you for your team. And I think you have at least one Ukrainian person on the team, because I met her in Brno, and I hope she's doing well. Because I mean, that's another little thing that, you know, I mean, I know you hired a specific person, a girl from Ukraine that is working for you now, right?
Just repeat that all of this won't be able without help of many partners that we were in contact with.
Thank you. Thank you.